Hey guys, and welcome to another tutorial brought to you by myself and my partners over at Bitburger00. So, remember how we talked about the puck part coming out? Sadly, there's been some, hmm, let's call it a malfunction. So I'm gonna re-record that probably later tonight. So that will be coming out next. And once that is done, since the voting has concluded for the next hero guide once the puck part 2 is done, that one is going to be Darkseer. So stay tuned for that. That one will come out in March, sometime probably first or second week of March. So, but for today, let's get into the tutorial. And I think that I have some good content ahead right now. And what we're going to talk about today are basically lanes and then the easy camp, the hard camp, and how to approach your lanes and why this stuff is important. So I'm gonna go into some games and I'm gonna talk about the basics and things that people should think about in every single game. You need to look at your heroes, you need to look at their heroes, then now you need to figure out, okay, what items do I need? And then you need to figure out, how do I want to play the lane? Am I gonna be harassed a lot? Do I wanna fight with them? Am I too weak to fight them level 1? Maybe I don't wanna fight them level 1 and 2, but I wanna fight them when I'm level 3. What about the camps? Do I want the hard camp blocked? Do I want the hard camp open? You know, stuff kind of stuff like this. So without further ado, let's just look into a couple of games that I've played. And then we're gonna try to figure out, and I'm gonna explain you guys why I think lanes should be played in a certain way, or why lanes maybe shouldn't be played a certain way. We're gonna have a quick look at how VP execute the laning stuff and the lane approach with like the wave clear that I kind of mentioned, and like how to abuse the side pulls. I'm gonna give you guys a short example and a short explanation of how this, like, what this looks like in like a top tier environment. So as you can see, this is Virtus Pro playing against Extremum in the DPC CIS League, and they're really good. Their safe lane, VP safe lane, is really good, especially when they play heroes like Crystal Maiden. They are super strong. They are super, super strong when they play these type of lanes. So what do you have in the Dire lane? So first of all, if we look at the lanes, we have Bloodseeker plus Crystal Maiden versus most likely Mars and Rubik or Mars and Kodo. So they go together to the rune, they combine their spells, first blood, yada yada, fine. So now just look at how they use their spells. So he has a Bassi on CM because he knows that they want to spam spells. Now look, they wait, Mars shows in the lane, Blood Rites gets used, Slow gets used. Even though the Blood Rite doesn't connect on the Mars, look at the wave. The wave is like nearly dead already. Two creeps are dead. Mars lost a lot of HP from the Nova. Now look here. Look what they do when they know here that they need to go for the range creep, right? VP know that they want to go for the range creep. So instead of letting the creeps hit the range creep and then Mars just comes and boofs, the range, what he does, he clicks on the Mars to draw aggro from these creeps. You guys don't have to do this, but I'm just saying, look what they do. Now look at this creep advantage they have. This Mars has 3 creeps on him. He runs in. Because here what the VP could do also is go on the Rubik, but they see this option on the Mars, so the Mars comes in, they wait, Nova, Blood Rite, combine your spells, boom, free first blood. Now look at the, or not first blood, but it's a second kill. Now look more. They keep pushing. He checks. He sees there's a camp. Pushes. Pulls sadly doesn't connect, but it's fine. Now look at the next wave again. They see the opportunity. Nova, Blood Rite, push the lane, and now pay attention to what they do. The whole wave is dead. Bloodseeker doesn't have to do anything else in this lane, right? He doesn't have to go here and look at the Mars. Look at him. The reason why this pull works right now, this push-pull, is because all the creeps are dead, and then Bloodseeker has downtime, right? Like, these waves only just now met. We will see later if the Bloodseeker loses anything. So the Bloodseeker is enabling his Crystal Maiden to get this pull off, because any good Rubik would just go here and abort the pull. So they get a stack pull off here at 2 minutes. He lost only 1 creep on Bloodseeker. He lost a single creep. So yeah, I think this was just a really good example of like a game to look at. And next up, we're gonna look at the like scenarios from my pub games. So let's have this a look at this most recent Viper game that I played, and let's go through it step by step. Step one when a game starts is, well, you need to pick a hero. I think that is something that you guys are going to have to figure out over time yourself. Depending on how early or how late you have to pick, you have less or more information on what to go off of. Generally, the way I pick my hero, it's either A, it's a hero I want to practice. Secondly, I look at what I am going to lane with and what I need. And then third, I also try to take in the fact to look at what the enemies have. Like in this game, for instance, I have an Earthshaker. I have an Earthshaker +4. I most likely want to pick a range hero with Earthshaker. And I'm like, maybe I need to take a stun, but I think it's fine. We have a lot of tempo. I have Lich who has lockdown. I have Shaker who has lockdown. And I want to ruin the Monkey King's game. Because right now, I have Timber and I have Lycan. Those are two heroes that do not want to play against Monkey King. So I feel like it is my responsibility to counter him. So I was thinking maybe I can pick Venomancer, but the Veno against Oracle is kind of bad. I mean, Viper against Oracle isn't amazing either, but it's a lot better than Veno, and it has a break and more, like, it just lanes better with Earthshaker. So let's just go with the fact that step one, the hero is already picked, and that is not our concern. In terms of hero picks, I'm going to leave that, guys, up to you. And oftentimes, people should also try to drop this habit of, oh, I am not playing the perfect hero, therefore I can't win this game. Which is bullshit. Take what you got. You know, you have to use what you have, and you have to use what you're given. So in this specific lane, I am playing Viper with Earthshaker. And my enemies, most likely, are, well, it's Io Oracle, or it's probably Monkey Oracle. So, let's approach the lane. What are my starting items? What is important for me? Am I gonna get harassed a lot by Monkey Oracle? I don't think so. I have an Earthshaker. He's gonna block my wave. I think I can go more greedy in terms of regen. I can go to lane with just one set of tangos and some items for my urn and the double mango to upkeep my mana. So, if it's a Oracle IO lane, then my first courier usage will instantly bring me out a salve because there are two range heroes that are gonna hit me. If I lane against a Lich, I will either start with a salve or the first goal from the courier will instantly bring out a salve. So depending on who you lane against, your items have to change and you need to think about this. Are they going to harass me here? In this case, I think that we're going to play way more aggressive than our enemies. So here, we have some Fisher block, this happens, yada yada yada, boom. So now, let's think about it this way. When you Fisher block twice, you create a bigger and stronger creep equilibrium than your enemies. Why does this happen? Because when you block the first wave twice, which you generally do with Earthshaker, the creeps meet here, which is very close to your tower. Which means it takes way longer. The amount of time it takes for the dire creeps to walk this way is like 15 seconds longer than for the raiding creeps to run this way. So when the wave is here for this long, look what happens to the second wave. The second wave is nearly already where we are, whereas theirs is just now at the tier 1, which means we are going to have more creeps than them. So this is going to allow us to play more aggressive. So what does that mean? When you can play more aggressive, when you have more creeps, and when you have more wave clear, you generally want the hard camp to be alive. So my Shaker blocking this camp doesn't really check out. This does not make sense. Why does this not make sense? Because we want this camp to be available later. So as you can see, we're already pressuring a lot. We push in the lane. We don't even need to look at what happens in terms of the gameplay. What we need to look at is the potential of what we can make happen right now. For instance, we could just kill this. Now I could just W this wave, and we can either tower dive them with our pressure, or we can pull this wave at 48 or 50 and stack pull it. Now, why is it more important for us to have this camp than it is for them? Because look at their wave clear. How would they ever reliably push the lane and then pull it? You can't, like, just because the camp is open, it doesn't mean that you can pull it. You need lane pressure. How do you get lane pressure? It's by pushing the lane and making the creeps work for you. Because if, let's say they are, let's say they have Crystal Maiden, let's say they have Crystal Maiden Kunkka safe lane. They will Tidebringer, Crystal Nova, push in the lane, and then suddenly they can use this camp. It's the bread and butter of lanes such as Caudle. When you play Caudle safe lane, Illuminate, Chakra, boom, pull, unblock your camp, pull it down. So what do you have to do if you lane against Caudle? You need to ward this camp or body block this camp, and ideally this one too, and kind of understand how it goes. Because actually, in hindsight, what should happen in this lane is that we pressure. If the Oracle wants to block this camp, my Shaker should start hitting him, like, quite a lot, because my Shaker should already be sending himself some regen, which it looks like he did not, but that's what should happen, because if the Oracle fights him for too long, I will just run over and start hitting the Oracle. So now, we push the lane. The 2-minute camp, since we said it's more important for us to have the camp, what should we do? It means that if the Oracle is smart, he should understand this, and it means that he should go and try to block this camp. Knowing this and understanding this thought process, it should alert me that I need to be ready to kill this guy. So when my Earthshaker sees this guy, he should have a more aggressive positioning, such as here, so we see the Oracle run over. And if the Oracle runs over, I'm okay giving them this camp if we get this one, or maybe kill him for it. Like here, I could easily run over. I don't need to aggro these creeps to the left. I could run right. Shaker comes from here. We collapse on him and he dies because he understands. He's like, oh fuck, we're laning against Viper Shaker. We need to block this camp. It's important. So if you look at it from their perspective, they want this camp to be open to pull back the lane and give themselves more XP and try to create a scenario where the monkey doesn't have to lane against me straight up. But we want to create a scenario with our wave clear and wave push where we get to push this lane and then pull it to the side. So let's go into another example of Centaur where I think it's a bit, like, it happens a bit more clear. You can maybe have a better view at it, a better look at it as to why the things happen in the lane and why it is so important. Because in these games, the way how you win these lanes is it's just off of lanes and understanding how to play your lanes, how to pressure, stuff like that. So let's have a quick look at the Centaur lane. So again, the game starts. We need to realize what is important. First of all, who am I laning with? Looks like I'm going to lane with an AA. Okay. Second of all, who am I going to lane against? I am under the impression that it is Gyro Io or Gyro Pango. So here, we push. So this camp is open, but this camp is also open. I have Retaliate, and they don't really have any wave clear. AA4 is like the prime example of having a no wave clear 4 or whatever. But Gyro in this lane doesn't really want to skill Flat Cannon. He wants to go Homing Missile and Rocket Barrage, which means he doesn't really have any wave clear on his side either. So we play the lane normally, blah blah. I send my courier, I get a Ring of Protection and a Mango, and now I'm like, I start to see that we're kind of even in terms of creeps, but I'm gonna start hitting the creeps again. You see, I hit, I tank. I see that he has the camp and he wants to pull, and I also instantly identify that this is the creep we have, which is the best creep to have in the hard camp if you're gonna be the one that's able to pull it. So here, what we have to do now, they have a little more wave clear than we do. Well, they don't have more wave clear, but they created a scenario in the lane where they pushed more than we did. So what we need to do right now is play very aggressive and try to push these creeps in as fast as possible to not let them secure this pull. Whichever team is going to pull this lane at this point is going to end up winning the game. That is the lane. That is how important this lane is. So here we get to make an aggressive move, whatever. It's not all too important. What is important here is that, again, we have this hard camp. So now we should start, yep, we take this fight, blah, 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 all good, fine. Here. We get to, zone this guy out and push the lane a bit. And as you can see here, I'm gonna ping this camp. I pinged this camp right now. I'm telling him, go pull it. Because by the time he pulls it, we will secure some creeps. I'm like, oh, I can block some creeps, and we can get a bit of the wave pulled in. Well, actually, it didn't work, but whatever. So here again, I'm like, okay, go push. Go push this lane. Even though it took us way longer than we should. Like, if we have a different pos 4, we can do this earlier. And we were very focused on harassing, but like here, I said we should push. The reason we should push is that so now we can secure this 418 pull. The reason why I am angling to the right is that in case Pango had teleport, we weren't quite sure. If Pango has a TP, what he should do is the Pangolier right now has to do this. He has to look at it and then either risk a lot of his HP to stop it, or just give info for the gyro so the gyro knows what's happening. Because if we're not pulling this, the gyro could pull this wave behind the tower. The only reason the gyro would want to kill this in the tower is to kill it faster to come and contest this one. So my positioning right here is only to posture and defend against the enemies who should be coming to defend this camp. So now, as you can see, we pull a double stack hard camp with a clap creep, which is gonna kill this camp really fast. So now look at this. I go here, we kill 2 creeps for free, 3 creeps. We nearly killed an entire camp simply based off of a little creep pull. Let me try to find a quick KheZu game. I mean, we can look at this quick Axe replay too. Axe is generally a hero in the offlane that wants this camp to be open. Why? Well, first of all, Axe loves stacks. Second of all, Axe's wave clear is close to uncontested from any offlaners. I mean, who else has such high wave clear? You just aggro the wave, and the wave is dead while you tank everything. Maybe Tidehunter loves the hardcamp to be open. Generally, Darkseer would like the camp to be open, you know, stuff like this. Other heroes that come to mind. Timbersaw likes the camp to be open. Underlord likes the camp to be open, you know, stuff like this. If you have Caudal Pos 4, you want the camp to be open. If they have Caudal Pos 5, as we touched on earlier, these camps need to be blocked. You cannot give Caudal these camps. Not only because he has wave clear, but also because Caudal lives off of levels. That hero needs these levels. So here, again, step 1, okay? We skip the picking stage. I am Axe with techies. Okay, I don't play much with techies, but anyway, we're Axe techies against CM Wraith King. Their wave clear early on is actually stronger than ours, if you think about it. Sure, we have Suicide for the wave, which is very strong, but Axe level 1 generally doesn't want to skill counter helix. You want to go Battle Hunger and either clap the carry, if this is the case of how they lane, or you help your support by using it on the CM. So at level 1, I think techies does the right play here. We do not want this camp to be alive at minute 1. Why don't we want the camp to be alive minute 1? Because I think their wave clear is, if they really wanted to, their wave clear is stronger than ours. As you can see here already, they have 3 melee creeps and we only have 1 left. We block the hard camp, which is fine. There's also a scenario where maybe you just block this, but I think in this lane it's more important that this one is blocked. If they pull the easy camp once, I don't really mind. It also allows the techies to do this and just go over and contest. But once we get level 2 and level 3 on my hero, I think now we have the advantage of wave clear. Because if I want to push the lane back in, all I have to do is right click the enemy, make the creeps run at me, use my spin, and boom. So here I angle over to my support, they try to stack. Fine. So now they got a stack pull off. Now let's go into another scenario of how to deal with these things. Should my techies be the one here to contest this camp? I don't think so. Maybe if he's level 2, right? Because if he's level 2, he can drop a mine and he can suicide and kill it. But actually, I am Axe. If I'm Axe or Tidehunter or Darkseer, we should just swap positions. Let your range guy farm the lane while you go and contest. I don't even, like, do I really care that this is stacked? I actually like it being stacked. I can run over there. So if I know this right now, what should happen? I mean, my techies are sniping curious, but let's just speak in an ideal scenario, okay? You lane with someone that gives you all the information, and we're going off of all the information that we could potentially have. Hey, Axe, the camp is stacked. I'm like, okay, the camp is stacked. Let me push this wave. After I push this wave, I will run here and farm. Techies, while I farm this camp, you should come to me and protect me. And if they don't go too aggressive, I want you to pull this camp into the 48 wave, aka the wave that's coming right now, while I'm clearing this. Because if had I known this, I wouldn't aggro these creeps down like this. I would just kill these creeps. But anyways, I'm telling him to come. I'm like, hey, we have more creeps than them. Let's try to push the lane and then, you know, abuse the hardcamp a bit. Anyway, we try to go for a quick kill. Doesn't really work out. Anyway, we have like 2 waves. So here, pay attention to my pings. Pay attention to the map in a moment. Here, this is where I see, oh, this is stacked. I ping this, I ping this. I tell him, hey, techies, you pull this camp. I contest the stack. It makes way more sense. My techies isn't really strong enough to go contest this, not if they're both looking at him. I am Axe. I'm just going to counter helix this camp. In the meantime, he can pull this. He gets the pull off. So now we get to do both, which is amazing. Look, I got like I don't know, probably 6 CS of this. Now, again, if they come, we want to fight them. So now let's pause. How do we do this? Remember earlier in the last game with the center game? If they come over, we want to fight them because we are stronger. Not only are we helping our levels, we're helping our farm, we're denying farm from them, and we're very likely forcing them into an engagement that they do not want to take. But there's a small problem here in this lane. I rewatched this already. I have a concept here that the weaker hero has to pull the next wave. Because what happens right now? When we remove this lane and make it run here, it means that their next wave will run into our tower. So whichever hero is the weak hero, in this case Techies, he needs to go here, hit this wave once and make it come to us. While in the meantime, I start fighting them already because we don't want to pull here and then give them a free hardcamp creep. That's not, I mean, it's still fine, but that's not good. We want to hit them. When these guys come here, it's fighting time, boys. It's time. I'm full HP. I have a Tango running. I have Battle Hunger. I have Orb of Venom. I want to Battle Hunger this guy right now and run at him and kill him. Or if the Wraith King comes down, I want to hit him. And then if they commit too much, I call. My Techies pulls this. He comes here. He uses Blast Off. Boom. Kill. So let's approach the lane. What are my starting items? What is important for me? Am I going to get harassed a lot by Monkey Oracle? I don't think so. I have an Earthshaker. He's going to block my wave. I think I can go more greedy in terms of region. I can go to lane with just one set of tangos and some items for my urn and the double mango to upkeep my mana. You need lane pressure. How do you get lane pressure? It's by pushing the lane and making the creeps work for you. Let's say they have Crystal Maiden Kunkka safe lane. They will Tidebringer, Crystal Nova, push in the lane, and then suddenly they can use this camp. It's the bread and butter of lanes such as Caudle. When you play Caudle safe lane, Illuminate, Chakra, boom, pull, unblock your camp, pull it down. So what do you have to do if you lane against Caudle? You need to ward this camp or body block this camp, and ideally this one too, and kind of understand how it goes. Because actually, in hindsight, what should happen in this lane is that we pressure. If the Oracle wants to block this camp, my Shaker should start hitting him, like quite a lot, because my Shaker should already be sending himself some regen, which it looks like he did not, but that's what should happen. Let's just speak in an ideal scenario, okay? You lane with someone that gives you all the information, and we're going off of all the information that we could potentially have. Hey Axe, the camp is stacked. I'm like, okay, the camp is stacked. Let me push this wave. After I push this wave, I will run here and farm. Techies, while I farm this camp, you should come to me and protect me. And if they don't go too aggressive, I want you to pull this camp into the 48 wave, aka the wave that's coming right now, while I'm clearing this. Because had I known this, I wouldn't aggro these creeps down like this. I would just kill these creeps. Let me know what else you want in the next tutorials in terms of content. I thought about maybe I want to talk about the pulse 4. Because they sometimes really mess up the way they pull the waves. A lot. They really mess up the way they pull waves. They pull it like to the tier 3 always, or they don't block the right camp while they do it, you know, stuff like this. And as a second reminder, the puck video will come out soon. I'm going to re-record that. And other than that, shout out to all of you for watching the content. I hope you enjoy it. Shout out to my partners over at Bitburger00. You know, they make this stuff happen. They make this content happen. So with that said, have a good one. Enjoy, learn, get better, and I'll see you next time.